Dying in Minecraft, it's usually not too big of a deal because you can go back to where you died, grab your stuff, and continue on your adventure. But it wasn't like that in my case, because I unfortunately had to die thousands of blocks away from any player-built structures in the middle of a huge ocean. But that wasn't too bad, because I did have some spare elytras and rockets in my ender chest, but there was also one problem though. I didn't know where I died. In my recording, I only had the Z coordinate of where I had died, which doesn't really help. So I decided to go and craft a recovery compass, which this is my first time ever using it, but I guess it did come in handy, and I eventually recovered my stuff. But something really unfortunate happened when I logged in on the next day. Before I tell you guys anything, I'm going to roll the clip, and that's going to give you a great idea of what actually happened. Here we go.
What? No! What? 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 What just happened?
So yeah, I died due to some kind of bug. I'm still not sure. I guess I did die again. But that's not the main point. I didn't realize this, but before I died, I slept in a random bed in a random village thousands of blocks from spawn. And my plan was to walk back to where I died, which shouldn't be too far away because where I died thousands of blocks away from spawn isn't too far from the thousands of blocks away from spawn. That was really confusing. But anyways, you get the idea. I still had one problem. I didn't know why I died. Again, and that recovery compass I originally had, I did place it back in my base, which was really lucky because I got one of the members pass that on to me and I grabbed back my stuff. And all these events happened in the span of an entire week. And that's already crazy. But actually where I died was a perfect place for me to base. As a cherry blossom forest, and it had a villager outpost, and that entire area looked wonderful. So I decided to base there, and I started laying down all my shelf boxes, already making a huge mess. Now I'm back to normal. I have all my gear, I have a new place to base, so a brand new product to start working on, and I was happy and excited to start planning and building some new projects. So before I started anything, I decided to mine out a quick nether tunnel so I can get access from spawn and my base much quicker, because it was still a few thousand blocks away from spawn where I had chosen to base. And after a while, I completed it. But something unfortunate happened again. And this happened while expanding the roof of my nether tunnel. Here's the clip.
Oh, every single bit. All my items are completely gone in lava. Luckily, we built like 90% of the raid farm.
Yep, you heard me right. I was working on a raid farm. Remember how I was talking about how there was a pillager outpost right near my base? So I decided to turn that into a raid farm, and I started building one. And I did basically finish it right before I died. But there was one thing that I hadn't done, which was to bring a villager over into the raid farm. Just a single one. Didn't sound very hard, right? But the trouble was, I had nothing again. I just used some iron tools to start moving one of the villagers from the village I live in using boats. I killed him really quickly, but there was also a second villager, so I took him using minecarts this time because I didn't want to kill him again, and somehow I killed him as well, which meant there's only one choice because there wasn't any villagers in my base. I had to bring a villager from a few thousand blocks away all the way to my base, and I just thought of this now. I really should have used nether portals to bring him over. I decided I'll use a stack of plain rails and a single minecart to get one villager hundreds of blocks all the way to my raid farm. Just a single villager. I apparently didn't decide to bring two. So I spent the next few days just grinding hours, just constantly placing, breaking rails, pushing the villager up hills, down hills. It was horrible. It took actual days to do this. It wasn't fun. But in the end, I did do it, and I made the raid farm fully functional. Well, at least most of it, because I decided to build part of the farm the wrong way. Maybe one of my tridents despawned and some small other things. but does work and definitely did help me in the long run. So after that, I decided to go on a long mining trip, and in those few hours, I got 2.5, almost 3 stacks of diamonds, I think, which is insane. That's like the most I've ever gotten in a single mining trip. And after that, I decided I'll go to a shopping district and buy a ton of books so I can get a clean set of gear. And I spent the next few days again just grinding XP. And grinding XP I did, because after those few days, I got my full gear back, which I was really happy because it's not fun. This video doesn't end here because
I forgot to log out of PinaCraft when I left my house.
so one day I decide to forget to log off PinaCraft. I leave my house for a few hours. It's probably like 4 or 5 hours or so. I come back to my computer and the first thing I see on the screen is the respawn screen. It says I was slain by a zombie. Yep, I forgot to log off, got killed by a zombie, and on Bedrock, or even maybe even on Java, if you're on the death screen, that the timer for your items kind of keeps ticking down, and you know, 4 or 5 hours is more than enough for my items to all despawn. So I was back to nothing again. But this time it was a bit different because I did have 2 and a bit stack of diamonds. But while I was in a VC with Alien and Goldie, Alien decided to let me use Team 2's villager trading hall, which included a iron farm and a round XP farm or something, which helped me a ton. So I spent the next day grinding at that ultimate farm. But here's me currently. I have finally got a max set. I think it's max set. It's good enough for me to survive. It's not netherite. I will do that in the next episode though. I want to thank you guys for watching the video, because this video is literally just me dying and regaining myself continuously over and over again. So yeah, I didn't want to extend this outro too much. So before I end this video, I want to say thank you for watching. I also want to say that this video has been sitting on my files for 2 years now, and here it is finally being uploaded. And this is my final video on PinaCraft while it was still active. I want to say thank you to everyone involved in it. But that's about it for me to say. So I'll let you guys go now. Goodbye!